All right, guys, we're finishing up some of the chassis stuff on the truck. I went through and did a once-over on all the brake lines and fuel lines and just reinstalled the generator. As you can see, and been cleaning up the chassis, getting all the dust and dirt off of it. And right now, we just made up a set of wires for the sending unit. So you can kind of see her tucked in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these wires ran now. And reason why is when the bed is on this, you're not gonna be able to get to these wires very easily. So that way we run these pre-body assembly. So then when we have this thing up on the lift, the wires are just dangling and we can tie right into them and tie them right into the harness. So we'll get these things installed and go from there. All right, we got the wires in for the sending unit. So we got those all tightened up, got them held together so that way when we go to wire this stuff up, got easy access, and got the chassis all cleaned up for the most part and wiped down. So now we'll probably put the cover back over, the plastic back over the top of this to keep it protected, and we'll be moving on to getting the backs of panels painted with some tougher paint that we actually brush on because he actually drives his stuff, so you want it to be protected and stand up to the driving and road debris and stuff like that. So probably film a little bit of that as we go. So we'll get some paint out just using some Rust-Oleum, nothing too special but something that's strong, and we'll get that brushed on the back of them, and that'll be it for the panels, and we'll be ready to start putting them on next week. I think we left off last time doing some wiring on the chassis for the fuel sending unit. Which I think I discussed before, I went through and double checked all the stuff on the chassis, make sure everything was tight. And let's see, right now we are ready and getting stuff ready for final assembly. I had wet sanded and buffed the, which I think I got a little bit of footage on it, the splash apron. So we have just started assembly. So Graydon's helping me with assembly this week right now. As you can see, he's over here getting this splash apron on. And we've gotten this fender on with the headlight mount. And the tape is here for assembly purposes so we don't scratch the crap out of everything. You got this splash apron on, as well as we got this fender on. So already making some headway. So right now, since this is kind of a one-man job, while he's finishing that up, I'm seeing how this grill insert mounts into this grill. So I just went over and got it from our storage part. So here it is here, which I still need to polish this up, but got the grill insert and the grill shell ready. So we're gonna see how these things go together, and then hopefully these two can be one unit, and after we get this fender and splash apron on, this can go on as well. And got the headlight buckets over here ready to go on, so we'll pick back up when we got some more stuff on. And I think we might have some time lapses to include, which we were filming with his phone. So if we have those, I'll insert them. All right, left off yesterday. We were getting some parts on. Here's what we got done. Both splash aprons, front fenders, headlight mounts, buckets are on. So right now, what I'm doing is mentioned assembling this grill. So got the insert in. This is the back side, of course. Here's where these tabs bolt up. Well, this flange right here is where the fenders go, or the fenders bolt up, and you can't have a bolt head sticking out. So I kind of countersunk these factory holes and ran a flat-faced Allen, so that way it stays nice and flat and allows the fender to bolt up nice and straight. And got these fastened in and ready to go. The original tabs, I got those pushed in and bent over on both sides. And then we're really not 100% sure where these top mounts go, being that nothing is really for a truck on this, but it's all nice and solid. So what I'm gonna do is grab this thing and kind of set it up on the front of the truck so we can get an idea of what it looks like, and we'll kind of keep it out of harm's way till we can bolt everything up. All right, there it is. Obviously, it's not bolted up, but giving you an idea what it looks like with that color with the black. So it's looking pretty sweet. So what we're gonna do next is get all these new bolts and stainless to bolt these all up, get the fenders all bolted up. So we're gonna go through and assess what we got, count how many we need, of what size, what kind, so we can get all this stuff finalized later on this week. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to bolt this thing up pretty soon. Now that we got that front end all mocked up in place, the cab's ready to go on, but kind of had a little issue. A lot of things people don't show you, or that you don't see on the big TV shows, is there are screw ups and there are things that happen that you just can't control. Well, the dash had a couple little runs around where the little accessory knobs go. So I went to wet sand and buff those out. Well, single stage, sometimes the color can separate and leave like a dark spot. And unfortunately, that's what it did. So I went ahead and blocked the whole dash, masked the whole truck off, and went to respray it, did my first little tack coat, and the paint just started running for some reason. Thought maybe it was something I did, but I mixed it up just like I did the rest of the truck, and nothing else ever did this. So kind of show you what we're working with here. So let it dry overnight, and for some reason it just completely sagged. You can see it all the way through here and a little bit over in there, but it's no big deal. Just gonna take some wet 600 and block it back down and wipe it down. We'll be ready to respray it. Should be good this time around. All right, we got the dash all done. Turned out really good this time, so give you a quick peek here before we start untaping it and everything. So turned out really well. So now ready, like I just said, untape it, get all that crap off. We'll get it wheeled out here to the chassis. And like I showed before, we got all this stuff on because the cab actually sits over the top of these. So yeah, we're ready to get the cab on. We'll probably do that first thing tomorrow. So obviously I'll film that. So we're making headway. Okay, so right now, since I just mentioned it's ready for the cab to go on, we are now ready to put some what's called like anti-squeak or anti-rattle material. So this is basically where the cab mounts. The front cab mounts are here, which you saw me install in the last video. If you watched it, you should go back and watch it if you can. That's where those mount. And coming back here, here's the other front-ish cab mounts. And then got another mount goes through right here. And then the back mount is here. So the cab kind of rides along this portion of the frame rail on both sides, obviously. So this topper material, topper tape, I guess, whatever you want to call it, is best thing we can find right now because a lot of the other stuff is hard to get shipped or we don't have it. So we're just going to take this since it's sticky back and run it along the frame rail. So when we set that cab down, we got a nice soft cushion for that cab to ride on, and it won't be squeaking or making any funky noises while it's on there. So we're gonna get to putting that on right now. All right, in normal vintage hot rods fashion, we forgot to film when we put the cab on the truck. So we kind of all got underneath it, see how heavy it was, because we were gonna use the lift to actually lower the cab down onto the chassis. And then we kind of lifted it up and we're like, oh, hey, yeah, this isn't bad with 4 people. And we just like went for it and put it on. But anyway, we'll kind of show you what it looks like here. But anyway, all right, here it is. Now the wheel color will not be staying. Now that we got the wheel color up against the cab color, it's just not working. So we will be choosing a different shade of green to match that color a lot better. But yeah, starting to look like a truck now. Pretty awesome. So next, what we're doing, I think I went over this in another video I showed when I did the wiring for the sending unit on the filler right here. This is an aftermarket tank. It is an exact reproduction, but it's not perfect. So this filler neck doesn't fully seal. So we've got to get some stuff with this gasket to get this thing to seal up properly so it doesn't spill any gas out. But that's what our next goal is. And then I got the bed over here in the paint booth with the doors. And I got a little touch up to do on the bed, which I can probably do with it on the chassis itself. But yeah, looks like a truck now. So once we get that filler neck done, we'll be ready to set the bed down on it. Okay, I know I just showed you guys what the cab looked like on the truck. We had taken the doors off, so it was a little less weight when we lifted it, and we went ahead and tossed the doors back on, so kind of looks a little bit more complete. So looking more and more like a truck every piece. We did just fix, I just mentioned the filler neck not being perfectly sealed because of the aftermarket tank. Well, we got it sealed up. It's drying right now. So that means the bed will be ready to go on. Cab is 100% bolted in. The bolts just aren't tight because we got to make sure all this front end stuff is dialed first, because I want to make sure that we get this in place, because we have to actually get some welting put on here first. I'm going to make sure I get all that dialed in, make sure the cab's square. Then I'll go through and bolt it down, which it should be. It's in the exact same spot it was before, but just want to be 100% sure. And got the bed in here like I had mentioned. The sides, just these, as you can see where I wet sand had some sags run down from the corner of these brackets. So what I'm going to do is scuff up this flat side, tape and plastic off, and just reshoot these sides. I'm going to do that real quick, and then hopefully probably let it flash off until tomorrow, and then we'll get a little video of us putting the bed on it tomorrow, so it'll actually look like almost a full truck, because then the rear fender should be ready to go on after that. All right, guys, doing the last bit of painting for the truck. Can't remember if I think I mentioned something about having to hit where some runs were on the bed. So you can see it in there. Just hitting the bed side. Just got a little first tack coat done. And while I'm waiting on it to flash so I can hit with my next coat, the original 6-cylinder badge on the grill insert is pretty dull, as you can see. So I'm going to use some polish and get it all polished up while I'm waiting. But thought I'd give a little update on the bed. So it'll be done and ready to put on tomorrow. And I'm going to do this and be able to keep making forward progress on this thing. All right, guys, here it is. These a little bit better, a little hazy. So I'll probably go over it with the small buffer, and that'll get it right where we want it. All right, guys, once again, we didn't film the process of doing all the cool stuff. So we ended up getting a lot done. It's kind of one of those things, we were in the moment like usual and started putting crap together, and I didn't film anything. So get you caught up to where we're at. And I think we're in and out the week. This is Friday. You'll probably see another Opel video before this one. But anyway, yeah, here, I'll just get to it. So here it is, looking more and more like a truck. Bed's bolted down, not fully tight yet because we still got some minor tweaks. Fenders don't have all the bolts in them yet. So they're just mocked up, so we've still got some finalizing to do. Got some fender welting to put in, stuff like that. So, and then right now, Graydon and I got the radiator support rods mocked up. As you can see, they're not tight either. Got the grill shell put in place, got bolts ran in down here. Once again, not tight yet. So we can run our fender welting amongst other things. So that's about where we're at right now. So next thing we're probably going to be doing is getting the fender welting all mocked up and cut and put in place, and start getting the back portion of this thing bolted up and whatnot. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I'm missing that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Just a lot of progress got done.
Yep.
We're ready to keep moving forward on it.
Yep, tailgate is over there. It's ready to be wet sanded and buffed and tossed on. So it's next week. Hopefully we can actually film a little bit more of us working on it, because it just seems like we just end up doing something and just doing it and getting it done. So
it's hard when we're on a plan.
Yeah, we
or
don't
trying to do something. It's hard to stop and film.
yeah, we don't have like a designated filmer either.
Yeah,
So
we're kind of in the moment, just like making it.
yep. Oh, we sealed up the gas tank filler neck too. I can't remember if I said that in the other clip or not, but anyway, we'll leave it off right there. So hopefully you'll see some more progress on this thing in the next coming video. So it's pretty good looking.
It's hard not to stop and stare.
Yeah, it's very hard not to look at it. All right, one more little update on the truck. Let me fix this here. So I'm taking off early for the week. So this will be the end of this video. Taking off for the weekend to go drag racing. So give you a little update on where I'm at on the truck. I kind of went over what all we've gotten done on final assembly, but got the hood over here. I got the new stainless cut, trimmed, and buffed for the center of the hood. And I got the two hood pieces mocked up to where I know my gap is right, so that way we can assemble it and then fine tune it when it's fully bolted together. On the inside of the cab, we're getting the wood fitted, as you can see there. A couple more little things to do, as well as the windshield I showed you in a prior clip. We got to put some more of these inserts in due to the original D-nuts being popped out. And on the back, not sure if I filmed, I got the rear fenders all bolted in with the welting. And the entire truck now, the parts that you see on it, minus the headlight buckets, the truck is completely bolted together for the last time before any wet sanding and buffing. So it's looking pretty good. Got the rear bumper. This is kind of just mocked up as well for now until we get the right hardware that we need. But I think that's it. Try to do a little bit better job next week on getting a little bit more in detail and showing some of the final progress and process of some of the stuff we're doing. So yeah, that'll be it for this one. So see you in the next video.